All right, all right. Well, good evening, everybody. Greetings to you all. My name is Renee Brown, and I bring you greetings here from the Maryland area. I'm very excited for the information that's going to be shared with you all this evening. I am not the presenter, and nor am I the host. I'm just greeting you all, and I get the honor of introducing the host for tonight's call. It's our very own, our host of the call is Chief Nanya Ale of the At-Sik-Hata Nations of Yasmasi Moors, an internationally recognized indigenous peoples organization and human rights defender. Chief and I have collaborated on this information. It is some new stem cell technology that I'm sure he shared with you all. And I'll just say this little patch right here has truly changed the lives of many people. And so he thought enough of you to invite you to this Zoom to make sure that you got that information. And without further ado, I'm going to bring our Chief Nanya Ale to the front of the Zoom. Chief, are you there?
Yes, I am. I'm here.
Take it away.
Greetings. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. So as you all know, much appreciated for that, Renee. As you all know, I'm always on the lookout for something new, healthy, and I, take my time because I don't, I make it a point not to just jump into anything. I do due diligence, check it out, and definitely with the relationship that Renee and I have, I trust her judgment when she was presenting this to me. So what I'm going to do, this is from what I see and what we've been what she has called the testimonies and the results that other people have had in her experiences with the new stem cell technology. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let Verdita do the presentation, but I thought about you all, said, now you all know how I am. I'll let you know. You can't say you weren't told. You can't say you never knew. All right. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Verdita Monk, and I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Well, thank you so much, Chief, for that awesome introduction and just taking the time to invite all of your friends and colleagues onto this call. I consider it an honor to be here tonight, and I reside in the Atlanta, Georgia area with my husband, and I'll just tell you why I'm here, as well as Renee, who just introduced the Chief to everyone else. My husband and I were contacted by a friend by the name of Mr. Ken Robinson. And on this particular day, he seemed pretty anxious to catch up with us, which was very unusual. We were about to go to a family trip. And at the time, when we got to Milwaukee, which is where my in-laws live, the first thing we noticed was my mother-in-law, who was 92 years old, was struggling with a lot of pain in her knee. She needed surgery. She was rubbing her knee profusely. And what was coincidental is we had just been on a call like this. We heard some incredible testimonies of some very unusual situations, not just, everyday type situations, but very unusual situations, and it caught our attention. And so based on what we heard, we said, and I'm going to pull it up again because Renee just showed it to you. We just said, we're going to try this patch on her. And so we put this patch on my 92-year-old mother-in-law on her knee, and she was like in excruciating pain when she went to bed. But the very next morning, she woke up and said, I did not have to rub any, I didn't have to get up in the middle of the night and take pain medicine and put ointment on it. There is no more pain in my knee. Now, we were there for 6 days, but that same, when she woke up with that type of result, it inspired me and my husband to try the patch as well. And so when we tried the patch, what we noticed was I just immediately noticed that I was sleeping I didn't know it until the next morning that I slept unusually sound. But what I also noticed at the same time, that my husband was not snoring. Now, because that's probably why I slept so sound, because my husband was a chronic snorer. to the extent that he would be choking in the middle of the night, coughing, and it was scary. For me, it was scary because it's, almost sound just like fatal. And can you imagine something like that happening? I mean, just in one night. And what's so exciting about that as well, and unique about it, is that he has not snored since November the 11th. I mean, this tiny little patch. So I'm based on what I just shared with you, hopefully you will understand what we mean when we say some very unusual things have happened to people, and hopefully will happen to you. So let me do this. I'm going to share my screen because I'm going to get into the presentation so that you'll get the information. So what I want to talk about is, we just talked about this patch. Have you been patched? Well, probably no one on this call has been patched yet, but you're going to want to be patched by the time we get off this call, because this patch will do so many things, beginning with elevating everything in your body, elevating all of the stem cells that are in your body, reactivating those stem cells and regenerating your whole body. Now, why would a person want to apply a stem cell patch to their body? Let me give you a little bit of history about stem cell technology. Many of you may be familiar with stem cell injections. Superman, Christopher Reeves, made that popular years ago because he had an accident and was paralyzed, if you recall that. And he wanted stem cell injections to save his life and heal his body. Many people that are in dire situations will do anything to get healed. So they're willing to do stem cell injections because in many cases it's effective, but in some cases, about 30% of the time, it's not effective, and it costs a lot of money, like $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 per injection. I even heard someone that spent $100,000 to get stem cell injections, and they may not work. So why would you take that risk when you have something like this? But that's why people will be willing to get stem cell therapy. But here's why we need it now. Why do we all need this? Because as we age, we heal slower. Our bodies heal slower. We start getting brain fog. Some people start getting dementia, Alzheimer's, people get arthritis, all kinds of things. But hundreds of millions of people are experiencing symptoms of aging right now. And by the time we're 30, did you realize that half your stem cells become dormant? They don't go away, they just die within your body. And then by the time we're age 60, we lose almost all of our stem cell activity. And that's why it's important, if we want to be healthy while we're living, that we may want to come up with some other solution, because many of the solutions that doctors give us are not working. And even some natural solutions take time or just don't work. You're going to find out some of that tonight. Okay, now, how does this patch work? Well, there's nothing in this patch such as, embryos or anything that's going into your body. This is transdermal. It works like a Band-Aid. On the back, there's paper. When you peel it off, you just put it on your body somewhere. When you put the patch on your body, these nanocrystals, which are inside of this, that's what is in the patch, is nanocrystals that are made in a lab. They elevate the copper peptides that are already in your body. Now, the particular copper peptide that we're talking about is called GHK. It's the holy grail of anti-aging. Many people notice it in high-end skincare products because it helps with collagen. But either way, copper peptides are elevated once you put the patch on. See, the heat of your body is called photobiomodulation. The heat of your body is going to reflect off of the crystals, come back and react and elevate the copper peptides. And this is what happens. Something miraculous happens, and the copper peptides then reactivate your own stem cells. Now, that part right there was something that scientists says no one could ever come up with a way where our own stem cells can be reacted. They can only do injections, which I just described to you. And this is why this is such a phenomenon that the company that provides this access to this technology is called LifeWave. The company is a 19-year-old company, and it went from $20 million a year up to $280 million in the last 2.5 years, once this patch was created. And now you'll understand now why the company is 19 years old when I introduce you to David Schmidt, who's the scientist and inventor behind this. You see, over 20 years ago, Mr. Schmidt was contacted by the federal government of the United States, and the Department of Defense was about to launch a project with a new submarine where the Navy SEALs needed to be hydrated, and they needed to be energized for over 36 hours at a time. Now, can you imagine if he was commissioned by the federal government to do this? He must have been really sharp. He's a brilliant man, to tell you the truth, but he is the only person, he is the one that took 10 years and over $5 million to create this patch. But all along for 20 years, he created that energy patch, the pain patch, glutathione, all these different patches he had created. But when he created this one, this is what we consider the masterpiece. No, nothing can touch the X39, because this is the only one that can reactivate our stem cells. He is a 2-time recipient of the Advanced Technology Award for the International Hall of Fame. Now, the patch is patented for the next 17 years. LifeWave is the only company that can market this patch. So we have exclusive rights to market this product for 17 more years. You see, this is not some product that you may have heard about. Some company has a product that will help you lose weight. Well, Walgreens has products that can help you lose weight, or you can go a lot of different places for that type of product. Or if you needed just general nutrition, you can go to GNC. We're not talking about stuff that everybody else has. We're talking about something that only LifeWave have, and that's one of the things that attracted me to this product. Now, how do you wear the patch? Very, very simple. Literally take the paper off the back and put it anywhere on your body. But you see a diagram in front of you where the patch is placed behind someone's neck or below the belly button. Those two locations are the locations that were used during over 80 case studies that took place for, remember I told you it took 10 years? During those case studies, they had to be consistent. So they chose 2 locations to apply the patch. You wear it 12 hours on and 12 hours off. A good way to remind yourself of this is when you wake up in the morning and brush your teeth, you can put the patch on at 8 o'clock in the morning, for example, like I do. And then by 8 o'clock at night, you can take it off and then just throw it away. Start again the next day. So, and then you can, just repeat this. And one of the things that's very important, and I just want to emphasize this, is you want to drink plenty of water. You want to be hydrated, because your body is going to probably begin to detoxify, and you want those toxins to be flushed through so that the patch will work effectively. Now, here's some of the things that you may experience when you wear the patch. This is just based on some general information about people that have used the patch. Now, I told you about my mother-in-law, rapid pain relief. This woman, 92 years old, she'd been for 2 years. For 2 years, she'd been needing a knee surgery and taking pain medication, but it wasn't until she put the patch on that the pain went away, and it's still gone. It reduces inflammation, and we all know that inflammation is significant, is something that's significant in contributing to many, many ailments and diseases that we have in our body. Supports wound healing. Energy and vitality. We all need energy and vitality, especially as we start getting older. Mental clarity, that's a big one. That brain fog, and I'm able to be able to compartmentalize projects that I'm working on, because I am an interior designer and I work on a lot of different projects, and just trying to keep my mind clear on what I'm working on is I have really noticed a big difference in that. Enhances sports performance. Many athletes, professional athletes, are using this patch. Faster recovery from exercise, as well as improved skin appearance. Now look at this chart right here. It's a topography graph that reflects what happened when, in one of these case studies, they applied the patch on the back of the neck of this 17-year-old woman. Now, when they first looked at her brain, this is her brain. In the orange section is all the inflammation that was in her brain. Can you imagine? All of our brains are like that. We got a lot of inflammation in it. The second session was 3 weeks later. All the inflammation was gone. And then the lighted area reflects some stem cell activity. And session 3, look at all the stem cell activity that's in our brain. That's altogether, this was a total of 6 weeks. And so you can see how significant this is. And this is what's happening to our brains as well. Now, during those case studies, they noticed some long-term results. And you can review these case studies over ACE-KD case studies on the site startx39.com. You can write that down. But what happens is immediately your genes begin to reset immediately. So the first few days, people saw over 4,000 genes begin to reset. Within 6 weeks, the brain became balanced. This is why so many people have PTSD and anxiety and depression, is because their brain is unbalanced. So that happens within 6 weeks. Within 3 weeks, the collagen begins to increase. So the wrinkles are going away, hair is coming back, the structural integrity of your skeletal and muscular system start increasing. That part right there is very important. Why? Because as we get older, and you probably have heard it being said that you don't want older people that are 70 and 80 years old to fall, because their skeletal system is very fragile and it's hard to heal. And if you ever break your bones, I mean, who knows what may happen. And so for that area to be strengthened, and that's just going to be amazing for all of us. Within 6 months, the heart begins to reverse in age. In a recent study, it showed that 14 out of 15 people lowered their vascular age. That means that's a test that determines the age of your heart. The vascular age was lowered by 8 years for every 6 months that they wore the patch. Let me give you an example. I met a lady here in Atlanta who was 73 years old, and she was one of those that was fortunate enough to get access to the patch when it first came out. So she's been wearing the patch for over 2.5 years. I met her in, I think it was January when I met her, and she said that she had taken a vascular test to test her heart. And they came back and said that her heart was 35 years old. And she said, and they thought they had made a mistake, right? They said, oh, something's wrong with our machine. And she says, no, there's nothing wrong with your machine. I've been wearing this patch here. So for every 8 years that she was alive, can you imagine that if every 6 months she wore that? That's why she had an age of 35 on that vascular test, because she had been wearing a patch. And so it's just amazing, some of the things that this patch is doing, you guys. So once again, you can go to this site, startx39.com, because there's no way that all the information that is so important that you may be interested in is going to be able to be discussed on this call, okay? Now, here's some graphics, here's some pictures of some things that, I talked earlier about wound healing. Well, look at the scars on this lady's face. And within 21 days, look how smooth her face is. Here's another lady that has, been wearing the patch for almost a year, and almost the wrinkles are almost gone. She looks so much better. And then this one just shows how the hair started growing back pretty quickly on this gentleman that was going bald. There was, almost bald anyway. And those are the kinds of things that, we're experiencing. So what I want to do at this particular time, though, I want to bring up a couple of people so that you can hear for yourself what is really, how amazing this patch has affected their lives. So the first person I want to bring up is Mr. Tim Jacobs out of the Maryland area, and he is a powerful testimony. So Tim, you want to unmute yourself and share your video?
Absolutely, Bernita. I'm sorry about the video. Thanks for having me and allowing me to share my testimony, guys. For me, a young lady introduced this patch to me about a month ago. Watching the Zoom similar to this, by the time the Zoom was over, I was asking how soon could I get it, because I definitely needed it. I had been rear-ended in an auto accident about 1.5 years ago. And the first night I put the patch on, I instantly started feeling relief in my neck. And it felt like somebody just kind of stretched out my lower back. So like all the stress was taken off. And that first night was the first night that I was able to sleep in the same position without my elbow or my fingers becoming numb. And it was just, instant relief. So right away, I felt the power of the patch. And I knew I wanted to share it with everyone. As a result, my mom has been dealing with some health issues as well. She had a fall in April and was fractured her tailbone, basically, obviously dealing with a lot of pain, also dealing with blood pressure issues, circulation issues, as she's an elderly. But long story short, her pain in her back has subsided drastically. Her sleep has gotten a lot better. She just went to the doctors on Thursday. This is after a little over 3 weeks of wearing a patch, and they cut her blood pressure medication in half. So I'm super excited about that. So her circulation was excellent. Super excited about that. So I mean, the technology in the patch is working wonders. And that's just a couple of testimonies. There's so many more, but I'm just really just blown away by this patch and what it's doing for our body. So thank you for allowing me to share.
Well, thank you, Tim, as well. And you I'm sure people heard just by that one testimony how that has impacted his life, to be able to sleep without all this pain in your body. I know what that feels like if you have to sleep with pain in your body like that. So thank you so much again, Tim, for sharing. And next up, we have Renee Brown. You saw her a little bit earlier, but she has a powerful testimony that she'd like to share as well. You got it, Renee.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Renita. And I must thank Tim Jacobs for, chasing me down, not chasing me down, but just reaching out to me over and over and over to look at this information. He shared with me his mom's testimony, his testimony, and I said, you know what? My mom at the time, and I don't know if he knew this or not, I may have shared it with him, but she had been going through some health challenges. And so I took a look at the testimonial video he shared with me, and it just resonated with my spirit. For those who don't know, I have to give you the background on my mom. She's a 29-year, almost 30-year kidney transplant survivor. And, here recently, the past couple of months, the doctors have been sharing with her that her kidney functions have been declining. And so certain symptoms that she had been experiencing were symptoms similar to what she experienced prior to even getting the kidney transplant 29 years ago. So, from appetite, loss of appetite, she had lost some weight, just not sleeping well at all. She has a weakness in her muscles. Her high blood pressure, pressure is just sporadic. It was up and down. The doctors have her on 4 medications right now. I'm reading a list because it's a lot that she's been going through. And just 2 weeks to date, 2 weeks ago, due to the medication that she takes for the kidney anti-rejection, it causes weakness in her bones, her joints, her hips over the years. And so there's occasions when she really can't move her arm. Like, it's very painful for her to move her arm, almost as if it's a feeling of being paralyzed. And so this particular Sunday, 2 weeks ago, Tim had shared some patches with me, these little patches here, and I put one right on my mom's shoulder, the left shoulder, and that was on a Sunday. She slept well that night. Monday morning, I called to check on her. Now, mind you, she had not been able to move her arm for almost a week, okay? So she was able to move her arm, and that in itself to us was like, I don't want to say a miracle, but it was just, we were very thankful for that. And we were like, man, it must be something to this patch, this technology. And so fast forward to today, every day there's a new testimony. So let me read my list. Okay. And she's on here too, but she's still shy. She don't want to share her information, but she's able to, of course, move her arm. She's gotten back to doing her chair fitness exercises. Her appetite has increased. Her energy, of course, has increased. She's sleeping through the night. It's been a minute since she's been able to sleep through the night. Her blood pressure is becoming normalized. And, right now they have her on 4 medications. So I'm sure when she gets back to the doctors, they're going to make some adjustments. And as you heard Verdita talk about the skin tightening or the wrinkles, she's experiencing skin tightening on her arms and other places on her body. And this is just 2 weeks, 2 weeks. And I'll tell you, most recently, she had a gout outbreak. And for those who know about gout, it is very painful. It was in her foot. And so I utilized one of our patches, put that patch on her foot, and within minutes, this particular patch took all of her pain away. And so she was able to get back to her normal schedule of doing activities, not having to wait a whole week or so, as most do when they have that gout outbreak. So it's amazing. This is truly, truly life-saving, life-changing. I myself, being over 50, women, we have the menopause symptoms of, waking up in the middle of the night, other things, hot flashes, me having 3 babies, epidurals. I have lower back pain from time to time from working out. All of that is diminished. Like I sleep through the night. If I have a little ache in my back, I put my patch on and it just takes everything away. So you guys, I just want you to know this is not a one patch wonder. This is something that will help you over time, help your stem cells in your body do what it's normally meant to do. So, I'm excited for everyone on this call. Please, please, please continue to take great notes and think about all the people that you know that you can bless this with, because it's truly a blessing for me and so many others. Back to you, Fredita.
Wow, thank you so much, Renee, for sharing that. And, I'm so glad you mentioned that for people not to look at this as always a one patch wonder. My husband was a one patch wonder when he put it on for snore, and he didn't even know that was going to stop him from snoring. We just put it on just because they said put it on, because we didn't have ailments and illnesses and medication, any of that. So we just put it on just to do it, not knowing that this patch would take away his snoring in one night. But I will share with you this because it's very important. I want you to really grasp how amazing this patch is. And I'll tell you one last quick thing about my friend Jeffrey. Jeffrey is diabetic. And Jeffrey has been having to do 4 insulin shots per day for the last 20 years. I mean, he is really a serious case. And 3 years ago, he had a stroke. He had a stroke 3 years ago, was paralyzed out from the head to the toe, had to learn to eat, speak, talk, walk, everything all over again. But November of last year, 3 days before Thanksgiving, his friend brought some patches over to him, and he asked him to try them. And he wore the patches. So by Thanksgiving, which was 3 days after he started wearing the patches, he noticed that after he ate, he normally tests his numbers before he eats, but this time he noticed that after he didn't have to take he didn't take an injection, or he didn't test it at all. After he ate, he measured his sugar levels, or whatever the levels are, and he was normal, like 150 something, and he couldn't believe it. But from that day on, as according to Jeffrey, he has not had any insulin shots. But here's the part that I want to highlight as well, because we talked about the heart reversing in age. When he had that stroke, they would not let him leave the hospital without a pacemaker. I don't know if you know what a pacemaker is, and pacemaker, I forget the other thing, but he was not able to leave the hospital without that. And that was very significant. And so I think he was going to the cardiologist every 6 weeks. 6 weeks after wearing this patch, it was in time to go to the cardiologist. When he went into the cardiologist asked him, "What are you doing?" He says, "Because your heart is no longer relying on this pacemaker." And so, that was really defibrillator. That's the word I was looking for earlier. He had a heart pacemaker and a defibrillator. And so within 6 weeks, that's what the doctor said. He says, "Don't come back. You don't have to come back for a year," when he was going every 6 months. This changed Jeffrey's life. Not only is he no longer having to have insulin injections, but no longer relying on the pacemaker. You can imagine this is life changing. So I just want to get that one in, because I want you to know sometimes it is not just everyday things that we're talking about. We're talking about major stuff. So with that being the case, I'm going to get back to the presentation so we can get to this point, because I know everybody on this call by now, the first thing you want to say, where can I get some of these patches? Well, you're looking at a form in front of you. I have one right in front of me. This form will enable you to, get some patches. You want to reach out to Chief or whoever invite you to this call. I know Renee and Tim, both the people who just gave their testimonies, have invited people. Whoever invited you to this call, they can help you get some of this technology. So you'll probably receive an email from Chief. But let me just explain what's going on this form. If you want to get the patch, it's a 30-day supply. It's coming in some beautiful packaging looking just like this, 30 of these inside this envelope. And if you want to get the wholesale price, I'm like this. I like to get everything wholesale. I'm a business owner, so I always get the best price. If you want to get distributor pricing, then you want to get one of these packages here. The bronze is $125. You get a 30-day supply plus a starter kit. But when you become a silver, which is 3 sleeves, and that's a sleeve is a 30-day supply, you're only paying $100, no $25 starter kit fee. So you get 3 of those. And then as a gold package, you get 5 of them. So you're still paying $100 for every sleeve that you get. Now, the reason you may want to get this at wholesale, because as a retail customer, let's say if you just want to try it out, you're going to spend $150 when you could have paid $125. So that's something you can decide on your own. But also, we have some more packages for people like myself who, when I saw this, I started thinking of all the people I cared about, all of my friends. I said, there is no way I'm going to let my Aunt Mary continue to walk around with lupus and pain. There's no way. I've got to get some samples so enough for her to try it out for herself. I started thinking about my sister-in-law. Okay, I started thinking about people that had Parkinson's. My daughter's father-in-law that has Parkinson's. You cannot, expose people to the patch unless you have enough to sample out. We like to send 3 to 5 samples to everybody, but some people want it right away simply because, they've heard these powerful testimonies. So my husband and I ended up getting this diamond pack. That means we got 3 extra 30-day supplies free because this is $1,600, but we got $1,900 worth of product. And so there's more questions that you may have about that, but I just want to explain to you that these are the different packages you should be able to get. Now, your personal information, your name, date of birth, email address, things like that is going to be required, because we're going to get you a free website so that anytime you want more patches, you can go and get them. Or if someone wants to go to your website and order them themselves, they can do that. But what Chief is going to be doing is sending you an email with this application, because there's a certain way that we're going to be doing this for Canada. So it's very important that you get with him, and he will be contacting you within 24 hours. Here's just a visual reiteration of what I just talked about and about those packages. But what I want to highlight, one more thing about the diamond package, is that let's say that you have a store. Let's say you have a health food store and you say, I want to get this diamond pack. Well, the person that brought this to you, if they have a diamond pack as well, they, instead of making $200 for you to get started, they'll make $500. If you bring someone in and when I say bring them in, meaning they get a package from you and they come in as a diamond. If you're a diamond yourself, you'll make $500. If you're not a diamond, the difference of $300 will roll up to the person who introduced you, who also is a diamond. So hopefully that makes sense. But all the other packages, are pretty straightforward. Okay. So now I just want to say this, that what is probably the most important thing to everybody on this call is family. I just talked about it. You don't want to watch your loved ones deteriorate when you have something in your hands. I know all of you have, in my mind, I've known so many sick people or people that are, on their deathbed, if someone had caught them in time, they may have been able to help them. And we just touched on it a little bit tonight, but there are some tremendous testimonies about what this has done to actually save someone in the nick of time, literally. And so think about those things, but also time freedom, being able to do the things you want to do, travel, be out of debt. Everybody wants to be out of debt, right? So this opportunity that we're sharing with you, the company will literally, if you start sharing with your family, just like Chief is doing, he wants you all to know about this because he wants to help you. But guess what? He's also a businessman, and he understands that this company will literally compensate you. The company compensates you every single time you refer to other people. And I kind of told you what happens when you share it with other people, when they get a package through you. But I want you to put your business hat on for a moment, because I want you to know something about the stem cell industry. The stem cell industry is becoming more and more popular. The company right now, the industry is at around 200 million. The stem cell industry is about 200 million, but is expected to explode to 300 billion. LifeWave International, our company, is on the forefront of all of that growth, because we are the only company that has a technology to reactivate your own stem cells. So remember, there may be other things out there, especially injections, that may be effective and they may be too expensive, whatever the case may be. We're at the forefront. So keep that in mind about the timing and positioning. So in addition to this, let's say you decided that you wanted to get one of these packages, and then you start telling other people, whenever they buy a package from you, you're going to be building a left team or a right team. So the first person that you sell, retail one of these or sell one of these packages to, or refer one of these packages to, they're going to become your brand partner. What we're doing is we're just spreading the word, you guys. We're ambassadors. Many of us could be doing something else, but we really want to help some people. That person is going to fall on your left team or your right team. But then the next person that you share this with will still fall on your left team or your right team, but they're going to fall under the first person that you referred it to. In other words, the people who position themselves first and early on, they're going to benefit from all the volume that all these people continue. They've got to go up under the first person and the second person. It's going to continue to go down vertically. You're going to benefit from all of that volume, but the people at the top of your organization are going to benefit the most. So timing and positioning is very important. And just don't hesitate. Make sure you get all of your questions answered so that you can position yourself early. We actually can earn up to $25,000 per week in this binary compensation plan. And I know some people personally that have already started earning this. Now, the part that I really like the most about this compensation plan is the matching bonus. So if you introduce someone and they start earning money in that binary, let's say they made $5,000 this week in the binary alone, you will earn 25% of what they earned simply because you were the one that told them about it, right? 25% of 5,000 is $1,250. Let's say that person goes around and tells their sister about this, and their sister does $2,000 in volume this week, and 20% of 2,000 is $400. That's what you would earn. And the same thing with the person they refer. What I'm talking about right here, you guys, is residual income. Because keep in mind, when people wear these patches, they're not going to stop wearing them. I know I'm not going to stop wearing it because I don't want to take a chance on, getting dementia or something when I have something in my hand that will keep my brain, reduce the inflammation in my brain and everything in my body. Why would I want to take that type of chance? But what is happening is people are chasing us down. Literally, you heard Renee almost use that word. People will chase you down to get some more of this product. Once they start using it, they'll want more. And you're going to want to continue to stay on this product. That's why we call it residual income, meaning it's coming to you month after month after month. And I'm telling you, it is a beautiful thing. And we're really excited about, how well LifeWave is compensating us. Now, these envelopes that you see right here is just something we send you, to get, if we send you some sample patches in the mail, they may be in an envelope like this with some instructions. This website right here, build331.com, will allow you to find out more information about how you're going to get paid if you decide you want to partner with us. Now, this right here is just a flyer to talk about a convention that we have coming up in August. If you happen to be in the, no matter where you are, you're more than welcome to come down to Tampa, Florida. I have to tell you this because our inventor, David Schmidt, will be there and he's going to make some huge announcement. So those of you who are looking at this from a business standpoint, this is something you may want to consider. It's only $150 for a 2-day convention. But with that, I want to say this. I want you to know that Chief is will be reaching back out to you within 24 hours. He will be emailing you this form But when he reaches out to you, let him know whether you are 1, 2, or 3. The number 1 person is the one that says, I like what I'm hearing, but I still got more questions. Remember that website that I told you about called startx39.com? You can go to that, or when he calls you, he will get you on the phone with Renee or myself, and we can make sure we get your questions answered. Number 2 person says, I like what I heard. I want to get some of those patches as quickly as I can. Just make sure you fill out that application so that you can be, next in line to get those patches, right? Number 3 person says, you know what? Not only do I want to use these patches for myself, but I got a long list of people that I know that need these patches. I want to earn money as well. So just let them know which category you fit into. But with that, we want to thank you for your time. Thank you for your, just taking the time out to get on this call. We really appreciate, you paying attention, and this call has been recorded in case you want to see it again, and we will be sending that information to Chief. So thank you all for your time again. My name is Verdita Muck out of Atlanta, Georgia, Presidential Director with LifeWave. Good evening and have a good night.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much.